The war ended in 1945, and this is a group taken at the party in Thornbury Avenue in May, VE Day. This section contains, on the left-hand side, Mrs. Alice Hall, formerly Bundy, holding her son Derek, and behind her is Mr. Menhennett, and the lady, two away on the right from Mrs. Hall, is Mrs. Gammon. At the back, on the left, is Mrs. Peggy Clark, then Mrs. Leeson, Mrs. Lay holding one of her daughters, and Mrs. Storer. On the other side of the picture, on the right, Mrs. Aldridge, formerly Shelley, Mr. Leeson at the back, and George Aldridge, Mrs. Aldridge's son, and next to him is Audrey's mum. The lady on the left with the hat on is Mrs. Meadows of Thornbury Avenue, formerly Bundy. Next to her, Audrey's next door neighbour, Derek Cobb. And the lady in the right-hand top corner is Mrs. Kath South. Marjorie King is in the bottom left-hand corner. Next to her is Reg Wheeler. Behind him, Esther Mason. On her left is Roy Lay, and Betty Lay is on her right. The two boys in the centre at the back are David Small and John Bubb, a second cousin of Audrey's. And in the front row is one of Mrs. Lay's daughters, Charlie Clark and Howard Menhennett. A section of the group from the VJ Day party. Mrs. Bisgrove on the extreme left, with Mr. Leeson behind her. And the lady stood at the end of the table is Mrs. Lamorgan. Mrs. Aldridge is on the extreme right, standing next to Mrs. Lay, and then Audrey, and next to her is Sue Groves. George Aldridge is the boy in the front.